Now, the profile of the mountain is near Abiquiu, and I say Abiquiu, New Mexico. And I'm looking now to try to remember the actual name of that mountain. It appears to be the mountain that is past the Abiquiu Inn, over the Chama River, and there's a large mountain range back there. It was plateaued on the top, as I recall, and there's another mountain that closely resembles that profile that I just want to say what I think it is. I think it is Rio Arriba County. There's a mountain there near Ghost Ranch. And I know that Ghost Ranch, which is where Georgia O'Keeffe has her ranch, it's in that area, Ghost Ranch. And this mountain was in that vicinity. And I haven't told this story for a long time, but that mountain was a huge mountain in that area around the Abiquiu Lake. And I can see pictures of it here, looking from Ghost Ranch across the Abiquiu Lake. And I can see the snow caps on the mountains, but I can't see anybody naming that particular mountain right now. There are some unusual mountain formations there, but this was a massive mountain, big. And it required us to drive to it because, look, we show up, we're authorized, but Ferns lets everybody take off to go do this. We land, we rent a car, we drive from Albuquerque, New Mexico to Abiquiu, New Mexico. We are housed in the Abiquiu Inn, and we are having a beer, and I'm laughing at stories that Ed is telling about his recon, because in his recon, I'm looking over, there's a Benedictine monastery of Christ that's really near the Abiquiu Inn, within several miles. And Ed, in his reconnaissance, goes to that monastery, and he walks up to ring the door on front of the monastery, and he looks down, and he's standing in wet concrete. So they had just troweled the concrete pad smooth, and he comes up and stands in it, because I don't think they get a lot of visitors to this monastery. So unless they, put a new surface on this wet concrete, you could go to that monastery and see Ed Dames's footprints from back in the 80s, right? Which I think would be really funny. I mean, I thought that was so funny when he said it that I kind of spit beer. It was like, for Pete's sake, you walked up and stepped in wet concrete. So from there and around the Abiquiu Inn, we went driving one night. And we went and we parked at this one spot, looking out over the lake. The monastery is to the right. The Abiquiu Inn is back to our left rear. And there's some spacing in all of this. And we see two guys standing up on the berm. And we go up there. And one of them is Jacques Vallée, the author of books, right? And I think of all the places to bump into this guy talking about UFO stuff, and, there's Jacques Vallée. Standing right there. Who's he standing with? He's standing there with Dr. Ron Blackburn, who ends up being one of my remote viewing students all the way through every level of training. And he's an engineer, PhD, that works at Lawrence Livermore Air Force Base. And he's standing there with these very strange apparati in his hands, like antennas sticking off, like something you would expect to see in Ghostbusters or something. I mean, that's the imagery that comes to mind. It's like antennas sticking, something spinning, and he's got gauges and crap that he's reading. And he doesn't know me from anybody, and I don't even know that he knows Ed, but he knows that Ed knows Jacques Vallée, and I now just met them. So he assumes he knows where we're from, and we're not shy about telling him. And I asked him, "What are you doing with this?" He goes, I'm measuring for anomalous activity. Like how? I mean, what is it measuring? And again, it's this thing of he's looking for intense increases in waveform expressions of energy. And that's what he's scanning for. So he's scanning both horizon and up. So he's scanning like, like this, trying to see if he can catch something going by or something doing something. I think very similar to kind of what we were after, which was find an opening, find a portal opening. I think Jacques Vallée was interested in finding or seeing a vehicle again, lights in the sky kind of thing. Well, we weren't really interested in that. We wanted something a little bit more dynamic.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like, subscribe, and notification buttons. Additionally, if you have any feedback, please put something in the comments below. And lastly, if you want to watch the full episode of this clip, you can find it above. Thanks again for watching.